Foo Fighters. All my life on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais with me, Steve Merchant, and Karl Pilkington.
Indeed.
Genius Karl Pilkington, as Heat magazine said.
Really? Is that what you refer to now?
Yeah, yeah. Genius. Saying about people tune in just to hear his games, such as Educating Ricky. Have you got some Educating Ricky for me?
Got some education.
I need some education, Karl. I desperately need some education. I want to learn about Chinese kids that are born hairier than average. I want to hear about deaf girls that can hear after their mum hits their head against a wall. These are the things I need to know.
I mean, I don't wish to be disrespectful. He doesn't look like a genius.
He doesn't look like a genius.
But then I don't know what a genius looks like.
Exactly.
So, you know, I don't want to be an
look at Einstein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His mum thought he was mental as a child.
Where'd you get that information from?
That was in the Einstein book.
Well, it was in the Einstein book, then it's really true.
Which Einstein book is that? His Theory of Relativity?
The big book of Einstein stuff.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the big bumper book of Einstein stuff. It's for a coach trip, and you have to fill in, E equals MC1 squared, 2 fish, or 3 hello, and then it's multiple choice, and you fill it. It's great. It's
Did his mum think, A, he was a genius, and B, mental?
Most people go for A, but it is in fact B. She thought he was mental at the age of 28. Oh, Karl, you never let me down. You never let me down. So have you got Educating Ricky for me?
We've got Educating Ricky coming up.
We've got Rockbusters.
We've got Rockbusters.
Great
as seen and talked about in Heat.
In Heat magazine.
It's got really tough this week now. We're not messing about anymore.
Right.
Got some good prizes.
Absolutely, yeah, we'll talk about those later. Because, I mean, was it last week that you had the classic? Was it, I can't remember, I'm paraphrasing, Karl, apologies. Something like, I'm here in Texas, I've fallen in a puddle, and my knee has got wet.
Yeah. Wet Knee Houston.
Wet Knee Houston, Whitney Houston.
Yeah.
And also, it was last week when there was a little bit of confusion over, the one for Holly Valance.
Of course. I don't think it was confusion, I think it was your error.
No, it wasn't.
And it was Holy Valance, and you meant Pelmet.
Then Becky, who called up that time and said, oh, if you're getting mistaken with, Pelmet, right, she sent me an email in a week saying, I've done a bit of research. It was my fault, I've made an error. It is a Valance.
Okay.
And I know about Valances, as I told you last week at the very end, my auntie loves them.
Yeah.
Right? She makes them. She started off just like putting them on top of the, sort of window around the curtain. And then she thought, oh, I can do more with this. And she had a little coffee table that had magazines underneath, and she said, I'm sick of seeing them magazines when I'm sat down.
She sounds like a Pilkington, so...
I'm sick of seeing the magazines when I sit down.
So she put a Valance round the table.
Yeah.
She just got Valances around everything now.
Then, next step, she tapes everything. She never actually watches telly, she tapes it all. Because she gets sick of listening to the adverts and that. So she tapes everything, so she's got loads of videotapes and that. And the video used to get on her nerves. When she was watching a film, she'd see the clock changing. And it distracted her from the film, so she put a Valance round that.
That's genius!
Yeah.
So, that is
or is it mental? Only Mrs. Einstein can tell.
I don't know. She's even made a little, Jack Russell look like a hovercraft. It's great.
So everything's got a Valance.
If you go round and you stand still for too long, the chances are you'll get a Valance around your head.
This is this is Auntie who?
Auntie Nora.
And this is the one that farted for 5 minutes. Lest our listeners forget. Farted for 5 minutes, called his mum, saying I'm farting, 2 minutes into the fart.
She said about 2.5 minutes in.
You said I'm about 2.5 minutes into the
my mum said, how long's it been going on for? She said, well, it was about 2.5 minutes before I called you.
Yeah.
And then it went on for a further 2.5 minutes or something. And, then it stopped.
She couldn't time it because there was a Valance over the clock.
Yeah,
because it used to annoy her when she was on the phone and you put her off, see, the time. She was guessing it was 5 minutes.
This was one consistent fart?
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't making a noise, it was just...
Oh, it wasn't making a noise?
Just gas.
Right, endless gas.
So, that's fantastic. Well, we started off with a new one, a little bit of Foo Fighters. We like new and old on this show, don't we?
Indeed, we like to mix it up.
I'd like to play the Smiths from their debut album, I Don't Owe You Anything. I Don't Owe You Anything. The lads from, Karl's hometown there.
Indeed.
The Smiths. Brilliant, that one. Wow, I went to Manchester, didn't I, the other day? Went up to Manchester for a little corporate. It was alright. He went, wait till you get out, you see Piccadilly, it's better than Euston. Right. It was, you know, it was nicer. I went outside and there was a ridiculous queue, and sort of one cab.
Right, yeah.
So,
horse-drawn.
yeah, and so I walked, and it was okay, it was only down the road, it was a bit dark, it was wet and raining.
Obviously, it's the north.
I know, yeah. The hotel was very nice, but no minibar. I've never seen that before. I've travelled all over the world to see them in a hotel without a minibar.
No,
so I don't know what's going on then, I don't know what's going on there. And then I did this corporate gig in Old Trafford. The pitch was up, I don't know what they were doing, but, you know, very impressive, big impressive. I think they're the British football club, aren't they, Carl?
Yeah.
You did a gig at where?
Old Trafford. It was in a function room.
Oh, well, I thought it was the stadium.
No, I'm not that big yet. No. But I mean, you know, I can't really comment on Manchester. I do know that Liverpool was voted most important music city by a poll.
True enough.
Carl, you're making noises while I'm talking.
Yeah, but you do this all the time trying to wind me up. And I'm not saying Manchester's the best place in the world, but what I'm saying is, there's bits of it that I really miss.
Yeah.
Like last Sunday, right? When I'd met up with Ricky, we had spaghetti bolognese, which was alright. And then I said to him, I need some soil.
Damn, I wish you'd invited me, it sounds amazing.
So I need some soil, what do you think?
You need some what, soil?
Soil, yeah.
I need to repot a plant, right?
Yeah.
So,
you need to repot a plant?
Yeah.
Oh, fair enough.
So, I'm like, where, you can't see these shops in London. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing around.
I took him straight to one in my street.
Yeah, but near your street, and that's probably the only one in London.
Well, you say that, Carl.
No, it does annoy me. Round my way, it's like, you know...
You can't move for soil shops.
You can't. There's earth, you can just pick up handfuls walking down the street.
Yeah, incredible. People just lean over into someone's front garden. No, you can take the plants as well.
No, but what I'm saying is,
Go on.
Manchester, there's loads of decent hardware shops.
Yeah.
Here, you know, if you want a panini and a latte or whatever, you can't move for them. But for soil, I had to go virtually how many miles away from me to carry that soil home and stuff.
Yeah.
It's not good. I mean, London's alright, but if cities were sort of...
It's neglecting the peat market, really,
well, there's barely any mulch available in central London.
I'm sick and tired of not getting a good decent compost of a Sunday.
Indeed.
So, you know, I'm thinking of moving to the north. Where there is loads of soil and gravel.
Indeed.
And animal shite.
whatever.
Yeah, so you were going to say, if you're marking cities out of 10, what would you give London?
Well, if you were marking them on, like, you know, on what they have.
Right. As opposed to what?
Well, as opposed to...
How you spell it.
Say, like, I think the greatest city in the world is Rome. Right, okay. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Have you been?
What, yeah, why do you think that, though?
Just because, like, you turn a corner and there's something there that's really old. Right. Like, you're going down a normal street.
go and stay in a Derby and Joan club.
Yeah. No, but it's like you're going down the road and then you turn a corner and like the Colosseum's in the middle of a busy road. It's like, what's that doing there?
Yeah.
Yeah. And just when you think there's no more, you turn another corner.
It's almost as if that was there first.
Yeah.
Well. Yeah. But do you know what I mean? London.
Yeah.
What have we got? You know, Trafalgar Square's world known. And you go there, what's there?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, there's a lot of space there. Get one big B&Q.
In Trafalgar Square.
To cater for the whole of people who live sort of central Londonish.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I'd be happy, but what I'm saying
with Nelson just popping up through the middle? Because you can still see it, couldn't you?
Yeah.
It's a great idea.
So B&Q could be like the whole sort of flat thing and make it sort of grey so it looked like rock, and then Nelson popping
up... Make it classy is what you're saying.
Yeah. Stone clad it. Yeah. So it looks like you've made an effort.
Exactly.
And then you can pop in, and then you can go out and go, oh look, Nelson's column. Oh look at that, isn't Nelson? Oh look at that, the victory, defeat, that's fantastic, one of the greatest living. I need some nails.
Yeah. Perfect. Killing two birds with one stone, you say?
But why isn't there more than them shops? Because when I went into yours, every time I've been in there twice now. The first time was to get a shower head, right? And I went in there, couldn't resist buying something else. I ended up getting some super glue as well.
Hey, big spender.
And then, last Sunday we went in there, got 2 bags of soil, not one, I bought 2. And I bought some scissors to cut plants with.
Secateurs.
Well, you never know when you want, you know, you might need more soil, I suppose.
Well, I've got
stocked out now. Where'd you keep it under your bed?
Sorry, this isn't going out, is it, this conversation? It's not going out on air.
I got a feeling it might be.
You're joking. We better play a record.
Okay.
Play a classic. Hives. What about a jellyfish?
No, you see, I think that's where you can say you wouldn't be able to have a good chat with them. Because, to me, the sea might as well be another world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In a way, I think the fish sort of have more rights than us.
What do you mean?
Just because when whoever made the world, right?
Yeah.
Say, you know, we're just bigging up God, but if
Yeah.
I was to have a go at him,
Yeah.
I'd say you added too much water.
Criticism 1 to God, right?
So
How would you have changed that? Just
more land.
Fair enough. Now, why have fish got more rights than us? That was what I was
Because there's loads of them, and when you look at the amount of sea on the world, right? There's loads of that. You only have to like you know, I was in Malaga the other week, right? And you know, you look in the sea, there's loads of different fish, and that's just in like 8-foot water. If you go miles out, there's like all sorts of weird fish, isn't there, with like lights on them and everything. So, and there's just millions of different types.
yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
But why does that mean they've got more rights than us?
just because I think, you know, rights come in numbers, don't they? If you know what I mean. Like, if there's one of you shouting, people go, oh, he's an idiot, shut up, whatever. If there's loads of you shouting, they go, oh, best listen to them, see what they've got to say.
Right.
And that's what I mean about fish.
Yeah.
There's loads of fish,
Right.
so
But they're not really making their voices heard, though, are they, Carl?
Yeah.
I know, because they're underwater. But what I mean is, I don't know what I mean.
What would you do, right, if you had to go back and you were in a, you had to go and put your mind in like the, an unhatched egg of something, like maybe one of those, that a wasp was injected in a spider. So you know you're in an egg, right, which is really uncomfortable, in a spider. How would you feel about that, Carl? You're a baby wasp in the abdomen of a spider.
And I know everything that I know now. I'm sat in there.
Yeah. And now I'm in a spider as an unborn wasp. What the fuck am I doing here? What's going on?
I don't know what I'll do there. Probably try and sleep. There's nothing else to do, though, is there?
I just pray to God it never happens. Learned some famous quotes to see if they are as good as my sayings. Number 1, treat every day as if it's your last. Very famous saying. Now, is that something you do, Carl?
But you know, my problem with that one is that if it was your last, you wouldn't want to be doing much. That's the only problem I've got with that. I wouldn't want to, you know, go to a fairground or whatever, because you're going to know it's my last day, what am I going to do? And I think you'd spend so much time worrying about what you're going to do that you'd end up staying in.
I think you're right. You've taken some of the poetry out of it. I think it means live life to the fullest, right?
I like the fact that you were musing on the idea that if it was your last day, you'd go to the fair. It's getting such a 19th century way of spending your final day.
I know, yeah. Well, the thing is, the other thing is that, the only thing that people get depressed about in terms of sort of like, you know, life and death is, not the knowledge that they're gonna die, but more the knowledge that they know they're gonna die when they're dying. If someone told you, no one ever knows when they're gonna die, no one ever gets an illness, no one ever gets hit by a truck, everyone passes away peacefully in their sleep, dreaming they're riding a big marshmallow, right? Then you wouldn't care about anything. It wouldn't matter when, it wouldn't matter if you died tomorrow or in 30 years' time. You'd just live life to the full. You'd have it, every day would be great. You'd go out, you'd come back, you'd fall asleep. That would be amazing. There'd be no stress. There'd be no angsty, we're all gonna die stress, because it wouldn't matter. Because it would just be your life. Wouldn't it be amazing if someone guaranteed you, Carl, you're gonna die in your sleep? I'm not gonna tell you when.
Yeah, but some people do, don't they?
Well, exactly.
Yeah,
but we
I
never know
wanna-
we're going to, because we stress. What if we get a dreadful illness? What if we, you know...
But we're almost not letting people die naturally anymore, are we? Because we're always bodging stuff up.
What do you mean?
Well, someone who might naturally die in the sleep aren't allowed to naturally die in the sleep because they wake them up with those electric things and get them going again and pop in a new lung or whatever whilst they're at it. That's what I'm saying. They don't just... You never hear it anymore, do you? Frank peacefully died in his sleep. No, he died on the operating table whilst we were putting in a new lung. They don't die naturally anymore.
Frank died peacefully with 40,000 volts going through them and a couple of people going, clear! Clear!
My dad and me talked about history. I said we shouldn't go on about things that happened ages ago, because I bet something similar has happened more recently.
Brilliant.
Read about an island in the Indian Ocean where there are tribesmen still living like they're cavemen. A helicopter tried to land and the tribesmen chucked spears at them. This is what I meant about not having to talk about things that happened ages ago. We have got new cavemen now, so why do we talk about the old ones? People could have lived before, but computers and all that blew up and books got burnt, so all they had left was what these tribesmen have got left.
Ramblings
And that's the ramblings
madman.
of a maniac.
That
I mean,
is
that's just a few hours before you go crazy with a gun in the...
No, but what I mean there is, right, say if all this has happened before, something happens,
Again, a lot of information from the Planet of the Apes.
world ends, right, we come back again somehow.
Yeah. It's the detail you leave out that makes you intriguing. Just like the watch that you can wear that tells you when you're going to die. How does it work? Pop it on your wrist. That's all the detail you need. So the world happened.
No.
We came back.
Have you seen the pictures? Forget it then if you don't get it.
It's interesting that you had all those profound thoughts about this period in the past when they all lived, but you still found it appropriate to include at the end of that. It says the tribesmen wave their knobs about when they've had enough of having visitors.
That's what it said in the paper. That's what happens. They're quite happy.
What paper is this that you're reading?
It was in like a paper a couple of days ago. It said they don't mind having visitors if they're bringing them coconuts and stuff that they can eat. Once they've got everything they need, they start waving the tackle about, and that means like, right, leave now, which you would, wouldn't you?
Yeah, at a dinner party.
My grandfather used to do that.
I was in there the other day, and like I say, little bird noises and that, and a little robin was there, and I thought, that's odd, that's out early, right, because it's like sort of summertime and that. Sure. And then I thought, oh, that's nice, and I was watching it, and then it got like a little worm, right, and I was like, hey, put it down, right.
Sorry, whoa! What do you mean?
Because
Why are you interfering? Why were you interfering
In nature.
with a robin taking a worm?
Just because it was a nice sunny day and that, and I thought, you see, worms normally come out when it's raining, don't they? And you go, well, I bet they're happy to die, in a way, because it's chucking it down, it's miserable. They come to the top of the soil then, don't they?
Yeah.
When it's miserable. But it was a sunny day.
That's they don't drown, I assume.
No, it's not that, is it? It's just that they hear the water or something falling on the ground and they go up to see what's happening.
What? No, wait. But why do they come up when they think it's raining? You're a worm, okay? It starts raining. Tell me your thought process.
Well, you just kind of, you're down there, you can't see anything, it's dark anyway.
Yeah.
So the rain's coming down on the land, the worm goes, what's going on?
The worm goes, what's going on?
He wiggles up to the top.
So what does he do?
So it goes up and it sort of sees it's raining, and then it goes back down again, doesn't it? But that's what I'm saying about the
What do you mean? What is this world where he goes, oh, it's just rain again? Oh, so that's the 400th time I've been caught out this year. It's rain. I'll remember next time I won't come up. What do you think a worm is capable of in terms of cognitive thought?
What do you mean?
Well, a worm can basically tell certain chemicals and certain light patterns. That's all it is, really.
Yeah, and
It's not thinking, it's not choosing its favourite food.
you don't know that, though, is what I'm saying. You don't know what things are thinking. Everything thinks, doesn't
No,
it?
it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No. The thinking...
There's something in this room that's not.
All right, what about this one, then? What about flowers? Do you think they've got
A mind.
a feeling? Because here's something that...
Again, they use phototropism. They go towards the sun. They close and
All right,
open.
well, here's-
Can you
they
stop
grow.
using long words, Rick, like sun?
Listen. But what I was saying is, about the worm, this robin that I saw that was eating the worm, it had hold of it, and I thought it's a sunny day and that, give the worm a break sort of thing. So I went, oh, you, like that, and it sort of dropped it in shock. But then, when it realised I wasn't that near it, it picked it up again and swallowed it. And I just thought, oh... Do you know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean, no.
I just thought it's a sunny day and everything. Normally birds are nice noises that I like, and yet there it is going about wrecking lives.
Wrecking lives! It was a worm!
But it just swallowed it really quickly and that, and I just thought, there's the worm. It came out, it was happy, didn't know what was going on, and it had an extra chance, the robin dropped it, and then it got it again and ate it, and I just made me a bit fed up.
Well, do you know why, don't you? You couldn't outwit a robin. The worm was going, oh, God, Karl Pilkington. So that's who's been sent to save me, is it, God? You've sent Karl Pilkington, oh, I'm dead. That's it, okay, eat me. Oh, God, oh, can I just tell this quickly? in the week, I'm talking to you now, the listener. Usually I don't.
Yeah.
Carl said, about embarrassing him on air and that, and he's worried about his education, and he was worried about not knowing long words. Like, we come up with any long words. And he said, no, I was scared, you were gonna ask me something about, someone, and he's, Eastern European leader. His surname is Milosevic. And Carl said, so I learnt it this week, and learnt it so you can't catch me out in case it's out. I said, what? And he said, he thought about it, and he went, Flobodan Milosevic.
Got the surname right though, didn't
he? So what's his name? Right? What's his name?
That's how Bill and Ben would address this leader.
How would they have said it?
Flobodan Milosevic.
What's his name?
Slobodan Milosevic.
Yeah. Well done.
Anyway, Carl, look, you almost let it slip then as you were talking about your filling out that application form. There's some big news that everyone needs to know, which we were stunned by in the week, although the more we sort of talk to you, the more it starts to fall into place.
Yeah.
But Carl, what's the story?
That I haven't got me exam results from the GCSEs.
He never turned up to get his exam results.
I was working.
And so, how many did you take in the end? Because you weren't even sure about that, were you? You think you took maths and English, don't you?
Yeah.
And you think you've handed in the artwork for art, don't you?
Now, art was continual assessment, wasn't it? Coursework. And what was the that you made?
I made a man sort of putting his arms into a car.
You made a model of a man putting his arms into a car.
What was this?
So that one's passed.
Was that this is a homage to break-ins in Manchester? Was this? What was this? Oh look, he does what he sees.
Yeah.
So
you've got that. That's safe. You definitely got that one.
So you've taken art, you've taken English and maths, you think? So this is what we're going to do, listeners. We're going to try and find out his exam results for him and tell him next week.
Live on air.
We're going to call his school. We're going to try and track him down. And we are going to have a little envelope, and we are going to give Carl, at the age of 29, his O-level results. GCSEs, yeah.
Now, Carl, so you took maths,
yeah.
You think, you took English, do you remember turning up to do those? Do you remember sitting in the room filling in the forms?
Yeah.
Okay, and how did you feel you did?
I don't think I did well.
You don't think you did well? Did you revise?
No.
Why didn't you revise?
Because I don't really believe in it.
Okay.
Well, it's just that if you don't know it, then you don't know it. You shouldn't have to start looking at a book. If I went to like the hospital,
yeah,
and the doctor said, "Oh, you need your appendix out," but hang on a minute, I've just got to read up on it.
Yeah,
that isn't good enough.
Okay.
He should know, and that's the way I feel about it.
To be fair though,
he did do the revision beforehand.
Yeah, they don't usually pass on, like, maybe, like, when they're in practice.
Yeah, information they took in by osmosis.
Yeah, yeah, and bloke comes in and goes, can I just see what you did with that? And I goes, you've passed.
Yeah.
Phew. That's a good one. Yeah.
Good job I watched Casualty.
I just like the way, the things that interest me, I remember. Things like snakes not having ears and stuff. Yes. I didn't have to read about that.
No, you just learnt that, yeah.
You saw it on the telly, didn't you? You saw it on that Ian Wright programme.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what Carl said to me. He said, it's actually, I called Carl up in the week, and Reese was with him. Reese used to be on XFM, and he took the phone, and he went, Carl's worried after seeing that programme. He said, snakes don't have ears, right? He said, so you can creep up on them and pick them up. And he said, Carl's worried. He said, how do you ever put them down again? Because then they know you're there.
I woke up the other night, quite late.
Worried about that.
And I said to my girlfriend, I said, how do you put a snake down? And she said, what are you talking about? I said, that Ian Wright thing, this guy managed to pick up a snake. And do you know that thing where they clamp its head on a jar to get the poison out?
I do now.
Right? They did that, but they didn't show you how they got rid of it, and I thought, it could really get nasty, because it's obviously annoyed that you've had its head pressed in the jar.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
They hate that.
Now...
Especially as it's in front of their mates.
When you lift it off...
Yeah.
Right? You've got hold of it.
Yeah.
If you go to chuck it down, it's going to turn on you.
It's going to go wild, isn't it?
So... I just wondered.
Well, what you do is you never put it down, Carl.
Yeah, that's why that bloke has got about, 11 or 12 just carrying him.
Exactly.
Yeah, you never put it down. You sling it. Who cares?
You just throw it, don't you, really far.
That's not, that I don't think you should throw snakes.
But Carl, listen, don't worry, we're not asking you to get involved with snakes, we're just asking you now, you've done maths, you think?
Yeah.
Did no revision for that?
No.
Okay. English, do you remember what it was? Did they ask you about Shakespeare? Did they ask you about books?
I can't remember, but I must have done it because I thought that was...
It was English language, not English literature, wasn't it? So it was like...
spelling and all that?
So was it like a comprehension, you read a passage and had to ask questions on it? Was it, did you have to write a short essay?
I don't know, I can't remember any of that.
Okay.
I did a science.
Okay, physics or chemistry?
Physics.
Alright, well done. And this is all you think?
You actually took that? You actually took physics GCSE, you think?
You're obliged to do a language, I think. Did you do French?
I did French for a bit.
I don't think you are. I don't think you have to do a language.
I think you have at GCSE, I think you've got to.
Well, English quite good. I think that's his language he did.
So you don't know about language, history, geography?
Just what you will find out, won't we?
Okay, but you just can't remember. I can't believe you can't remember turning up for these things, because it's quite a big moment in people's lives. It is the thing that you've been working to all of your educational life.
On the day that the things came out, I was working at as a printer.
Okay.
And it was a really busy day.
A lot of spelling mistakes that
It was
day,
a really busy day, so you're bound to forget.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I had to use gold ink that day.
Oh.
And it's, I mean, you're not a printer, so you don't know.
No, that's the biggie, innit?
But it's tough, you've got to really get your rollers clean.
Carl, play a record, mate, and good luck with the exam results. Hopefully we'll have them for you by next week.
PJ Harvey on XFM 104.9, the home of the classics.
Absolutely.
Classics. Oggy. Oi. Well, we were talking earlier about this, as this book, They Died Young, right? And there's all these theories about these people, like famous people that, aren't really dead. And I remember speaking to someone about this, okay? And they said to me, Bruce Lee is not dead, right? They said he's not dead, right? And I said, well, how do you know? So he's going, no, it was a whole big thing by the Hong Kong government, and he's actually working as an undercover cop in Hong Kong, using his kung fu powers. Now,
no, apparently he faked his own death, Carl, so that he could work undercover for the Hong Kong police, infiltrating gangs, the triads, that sort of thing.
Now, my point is this: if you're going to use someone undercover in Hong Kong, right? You know, an undercover cop, I suggest using the most famous Chinaman of all time. That would be
a guarantee.
Yeah. So, you know, when he's taking away a gang, they're going, you look a bit like Bruce Lee. He's going, no, I don't know. See this moustache?
It was a bit wonky.
Well, just take my word for it. I'm not Bruce Lee, alright? Well, all that stuff he did when you punching us and kicking us and chopping, yes. But, I'm not.
Yeah, it does look a bit like the stuff in my film, in his films.
In his films, yeah.
But it's not. It's just coincidence.
No, yeah.
The thing is, though, I'm not sounding bad here, not trying to offend anyone, but they do all look the same.
They do all look...
No.
No, you know, we're having a serious chat. I'm not here to upset anyone.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, over here...
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm not... Yeah, but you know me, I'm not out to upset anyone.
Right.
You're not a racialist?
No.
What do you mean? Are you saying Oriental people all look alike?
Well, look at the people over here, right?
Yeah.
With, like, you've got ginger people. You've got people with black hair, you've got people who are fat, people who are thin, but they're all so sort of fit, which isn't a bad thing. They all do that sort of thing in the park. They're all fit. It's a place where black hair... I mean, when they come here, they take pictures of people with ginger hair, don't they? Because they don't get them over there. That's what I'm saying. So calm down. Jeez.
So you're saying that Bruce Lee, the most famous Chinese movie star of all time...
They can't tell him apart.
Other triad members wouldn't... How are they... I mean, how are they going about the business at all? I mean, what I'm saying is, how would they even realise that was the guy?
What do they have to do? Wear numbers in, you know, because there's a billion.
No, but when you know them, then you know.
So what? Oh, I see. They can tell each other apart, can they? Well, they got signals. This is amazing, isn't it?
That's how you got away with it.
Simon, which one are you? Just raise your hand, Simon. Yep. Chang, which one's Chang? Chang, good. Yeah.
Oh, it must be murder, mustn't it? Just
that can be the only
people going into the wrong houses all the time, getting off with their mates' wives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It must be a nightmare.
It must be a nightmare. Please don't complain. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm really sorry to anyone he honestly does not know what he's saying. XFM 104.9.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is...
Go on.
I don't think I am offending anyone.
Okay. Fine, that's alright then.
And you know that I wouldn't want to do that.
No, I know you don't. I know.
I know. Radio. I said, right, if you got kids in the car, turn your radio.
So before you make any potentially racist remarks, just point out if you are listening and you might be Oriental. Yeah. Please don't take offence.
Or go...
You know what I mean. So
yeah.
Go on then, so what was this other dead person? Who's not?
Can't play a record, Ricky's having a heart attack.
Well, the music of tomorrow is here.
That's true enough.
Yeah. Must have been some sort of muck up with the post.
Rick, a lot of the times when I played Hip Hop Hooray, my hip hop track of the week, you've sort of scoffed, you've thought that maybe I don't have credibility amongst the hip hop fraternity.
No, it's just the way you dance.
Well,
it's merely the way you dance that worries me. Because people can't see it, really. And it's sort of like, imagine if Mr. Bean thought he was in D12, you know what I mean? It's that sort of, and I don't diss you, I mean, I know you're a hip-hop appreciator, you know.
I wouldn't expect you to diss me. Or the Black Queen. But the point is that I just, there's a little something that Carl's got on tape for you that I think might change your opinion of my, whole hip-hop credibility.
Oh, no.
Now, I've told you in the past,
Not a videotape, is it?
Not at all. Actually, Carl, just play it.
Yo, 1 2 1 2, we are the Dilated Peoples, chilling on Hip Hop Parade.
That's right.
With Steve Merchant, y'all, XFM 104.9. LA to London, Dilated People expanding them.
All day.
Now,
Who got that?
how about
You
that?
did that, Carl.
No, it was just when I was hanging out with my homies.
Who did it? Do they come in the week?
They were in the week, I think, and somebody got them to do it for him.
You know, no, that was when I was just hanging in the crib with them. Yeah, no. I was
That's
hanging
very-
with them,
that's very nice of them.
and the guys just laid down some beats for me.
Yeah.
You know, just laid down some vocals, and I gave them max respect for it. You know, and the place was mad deep with girls at the time.
I assume you're going to play Dilated Peoples this week then?
Well, maybe.
Yeah.
Let's play it, Carl.
That's very good.